This is your host, Jason Snowgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great comp hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective All right, we got Curtis Buckner on the line. Curtis, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. Hey, we're talking about some dog food tonight, and we're kind of putting something together here and just trying to get some kind of a survey of what everybody's feeding. I already know what you feed, but go ahead and tell us what you feed and what you fed before you fed this.
I feed Extreme Dog Fuel. I feed the Elite Nutrition, the 30-20.
Yep.
I like the 30% protein to 20% fat. From the research I've done, even in the summertime, you need to keep the fat up. Just lower the amount of feed you're feeding.
Yeah.
One of the things that brought me to Extreme Dog Fuel, all the ingredients are sourced out of the central United States.
Yeah. What was you feeding prior to Extreme?
I had tried some Diamond Naturals.
Mm-hmm.
I had tried Value Pack 28-20.
Yep.
But the 30-20, I've got a pup that's 18 months old. That's the only feed he's ever ate.
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't know this yet, but I've already recorded with Keith Dotson, which is the owner and nutritionist for Extreme Dog Fuel. He will be on an episode after this episode airs, and there's a lot of good information on there about micronutrients and, you know, the way we feed dog food and stuff like that. Some stuff that we had questions for him that he went even to further detail that some stuff I didn't even think about, especially when he goes down the path of micronutrients. It is really interesting and really perked my ears up and made me think of what I was feeding, how I was feeding it. So, was there any other reasons you swapped other than the products being based out of the central U.S.?
I also swapped because I hunt with you, and it's, you know, and a family-owned business. Nothing against Value Pack, but you're the distributor. I'd heard lots of stuff on it. I believe they used to advertise it on the whatever podcast Mason Bush owns.
Yeah, Coon Hunting University.
Yeah, Coon Hunting University.
Yeah, me and Tyler, we were sponsored whenever we were doing it on Coon Hunting University by them.
Yep. I've had some questions before. I've called, a person answers the phone, and they answer my question. And it's very reasonably priced for the quality of food it is.
Yeah, I agree. I may be going out on a limb here to say this, but especially for the price that we're paying for it, me and you, I don't think you're going to find a dog food on the market that's that nutrient packed for that price point for sure. So
no, it hovers around 500 kcals a cup, which, you know, that's as high. There's only 3 or 4 foods that is that high or higher in kcals per cup.
Yeah.
And I know some people disagree, but I feed the Elite Nutrition because I do not like corn.
Yeah.
I think if it was non-GMO corn, it would probably be fine for the dog.
Yeah, it's got some other grains in there. They just don't use the corn in there. But
yes.
and he talks about some of that too in our podcast. So you'll be interested to listen to what he has to say. And you may have already talked to Keith on the phone when calling down there, because that's usually when you have a question, that's where you end up, is at his desk.
Yes.
So.
And another thing that I like about it, it has multiple sources of meat in it. Most of them have pork and chicken, and then they use fish meal for their omegas instead of a synthetic omega.
Yeah. There's a lot of good things about it, but yeah, that's what I wanted. We're just trying to get some opinions of some different guys, kind of see what everybody's feeding. And Brett has done extensive research of this, and I'm sure he's got a college book thick envelope
And
when he shows up here.
My dogs get supplemented with some type of raw meat. I do a lot of deer hunting. I pull every scrap off of the deer carcass and freeze it. I feed beef heart, beef liver, and beef tongue anytime I can get it.
Yeah. I do some of the same stuff. But yeah, I know you got a hunt to get to. I appreciate you taking 5 minutes to get on here, Curtis, and talk with us about what you feed and why you feed it. I don't want to hold you up because I know you gotta get down the road and get around and get things done. So good luck tonight. You hunting a pup or you hunting an old man?
I'm hunting a pup tonight.
Well, good luck. Maybe you do some good. I actually got a cast win the other night.
Well, congratulations.
and like to give it away.
Yeah, I went to the Bear Creek and hunted 2 nights and got beat both nights.
How was the hunting?
It was the first night we just got a guide that didn't put us in great hunting. The second night the dogs just got spread out.
Yeah.
And I had to leave my dog. He was 17 months old at the time. He left a tree. He'd been there about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I went to Aaron's Tuesday and hunted in the wind, and right out of the cut, I had Creeper get treed with another dog, and then had a coon, and we cut off of that, and he got in there by himself, had another coon. So, well,
pretty good night.
Here comes trouble, so I'll let you go.
All right. Talk to you later, Jay.
See you. Bye. All right, we're back. That was a long coffee break, but as y'all have heard me talk about, Brett can't go very long without eating, so he had to have some coffee, a snack, another snack, another cup of coffee. So yeah, I know it's been a week, but that's about how long it takes to get him back up and going. So hope you enjoyed part 1. Part 2's coming up. I'm going to hush and get off here. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast, or give us a comment on Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Hope you enjoy. All right, we're back from our little break. We had to go refill our coffees, and
we are. I need some sugar.
Well, there's sugar in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you got sugar.
I got it from that
birthday cake in there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about.
Well.
What?
Yeah, we're done with that. We're moving on to something else. This dog food topic, so it ain't just about
commercial dog food.
Commercial dog food.
Yeah. I'm going to drink coffee while you talk. Go ahead.
So we're moving right along here. We're going to talk about... Give me a break. Mute your mic. Ain't nobody wants to hear that.
All right, go ahead.
We're going to talk about beef liver. Which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually got you on it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't feed it all the time, but I do feed it.
Well, one thing that we must never forget is that our hounds are nothing less than an elite athlete, comparable to a triathlon.
Like me.
You can't, like you. And you can't get the most out of an elite athlete, though, on a couch potato diet.
Whoa.
So.
No golden arches?
Leaves you out. But we demand so much physically from our hounds that we must provide them with the best of nutrition.
Agreed.
And that's what we're on here on the dog food, and that's what the main goal is
feed the best that you can afford to feed.
To feed them the best of nutrition.
Yep. And
I'm going to let out one of my secrets.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm going to let one out.
I can't believe it.
I've got 2 of them. But I'm only telling you one. You're laughing, but I really do have 2 secrets.
That I don't even know?
Yeah, you know about one of them.
But I don't know about the other one.
Yeah, you know about the other one too,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm not going to bring it up. Man.
Okay.
But anyways, one of my secrets is beef liver.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are probably going, yeah, I already feed it or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of raw beef liver. I mean, it's a great source of several nutrients, and I'm gonna read some of this stuff off to you too. It's a micronutrient powerhouse.
Angel loves it.
And most of them do.
Belle hates it. She will literally pull it out of the dog food bowl and drop it on the ground.
Really?
Yep, she hates it.
She-
She'll go back and eat it later, but she won't. That's last.
She ain't right. Not only is it a micronutrient powerhouse, it provides high quality protein. A lot of it. Chronic stress depletes nutrients in our hounds' bodies. B12 and B9 are two of those. 1/4 of beef liver is made up of protein. Being an animal-based protein, it provides all the essential amino acids. An amino acid is a building block that makes up proteins, and essential amino acids must come from food. Some of the nutrients that's found in beef liver that are extremely valuable is vitamin B12. B12 helps formation of red blood cells. Vitamin A is important for healthy vision, immune system, also reproduction.
Maybe you need to be eating some beef liver.
For my vision,
Yeah.
I do eat beef liver.
Well, I ain't eating it.
I like it.
I don't like it.
It also helps the heart function properly too. Riboflavin, which is your B2, it's important for cellular development and function, and it also helps turn food into energy. B9 is folate, is an essential nutrient that plays a role in cell growth. Iron is loaded with iron. Iron is another essential nutrient, helps carry oxygen around the body. Copper acts like a key to activate a number of enzymes, which then help regulate energy production, iron metabolism, and brain function. It's also an excellent source of niacin, B6, phosphorus, zinc, and selenium. But this beef liver, I'm telling you, if you're pushing a dog hard and you're running up and down the road and you're hunting a dog hard, get them used to eating it and start feeding it. I promise you one thing, you won't regret it, and you're gonna see a lot of noticeable differences, I think, in overall health of the dog and definitely performance. It's unreal. The next thing we're going to hit on is anemia.
Mm-hmm.
If your dog is anemic, their blood has a low level of red blood cells. Another thing red blood cells carry oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. Dogs with anemia are tired or weak, may experience shortness of breath, constipation, loss of appetite, and weight loss. A lot of these things that are going on, and a lot of people post comments on Facebook and they start talking about their dog's this or that, tired, weak, blah, 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 blah. And they want to know, and the first thing somebody talks about is on there is, have you had the dog's thyroid checked?
Oh my God.
Is that not true?
Every time.
And maybe your dog is just anemic. Now, I had a situation with a dog, and I had this brought to my attention years ago from a racehorse guy that I know. And I was telling him about her. He used to coon hunt. And I was telling him about her and telling him about the issues I was having with her. And this was back in the early days of people talking about, just barely talking about thyroid. You didn't hear so much talk about it then as you do now. And he said, well, I know what's wrong with her. I said, what's that? And he said, well, she's anemic. And he said, I'm going to put you in touch with this racehorse vet in Florida, and you call him and talk to him, and he'll send you what you need. I said, are you serious? I said, yeah. So, anyways, a substantial amount of vitamin B12 and iron in beef liver can be real helpful for those that are at risk for anemia if you want to reduce it. There's just so many benefits with beef liver that it's unreal. That's why I'm such a huge fan of it. I'll go as far as saying this. I think you could feed, and this is gonna really make people. This is gonna roll heads probably, but I think you could feed the cheapest, lowest quality dog food to a dog and give them beef liver and the right amount of raw meat and like a raw meat diet, partially with some lower grade dog food, and I think you'd be just fine.
Maybe.
Because I'm a raw dog food. I'm a big fan of this raw dog food stuff, raw meat. Another thing I want to note on anemia is they're more likely to have thyroid issues if you got a dog that's got anemia. We've got a buddy that has a dog that's got anemia. I'm not going to bring it up or talk about it, but his vet helped him out on that. She's anemic, so he's been treating her for that. I just can't stress enough of how valuable that I personally think that beef liver is.
Yep.
These dogs are such elite athletes, and I mean it's unreal how much we demand from these dogs. And I just don't think they're properly. A lot of them I don't think are properly fed. A lot of people are just laughing. Oh, I'll feed 4 cups of whatever, and I ain't changing. It is what it is, and that dog's going to operate for me or else. That's all he's getting. Well, that's fine. That's your deal. Another topic.
This is as big as the dog food topic in itself. And you throwing it in the middle.
Yeah, we're going to throw this in the middle of this a little bit. Thyroid.
I knew you was going to say it. Everybody's ears just perked up.
Could certain dog foods or their ingredients be causing thyroid issues?
Could. According to Keith.
Dog foods, okay. So a lot of people are saying that it's a lack of iodized salt, iodine, and all this type of stuff, that they've taken it out of there. Now, I don't have all the answers for these thyroid issues. But I want to interject a few things about it. It's just food for thought on a lot of this. The first thing that people want to do when they have a dog that they get it tested because of just the craze of this low thyroid, everybody's like, your dog's got a thyroid problem, or you need to get your thyroid checked. Have you had the thyroid check? They take it to the vet. Low thyroid. I don't know that of anybody that hasn't had a dog checked that didn't have a low thyroid.
I had Creeper checked. He didn't have it.
He didn't?
Nope.
Why'd you have him checked? Slick tree and not... Well, no, it wasn't because he was active enough or whatever. Didn't have enough energy. Things like Tasmanian devil. I mean, you'd have to be a nut to check the thyroid because of that.
He was getting real hot on me in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Like real hot.
Yeah.
And he was missing some. And so, me personally, before I go to correcting a dog, I want to make sure the dog is healthy. I want to make sure, well, we went through this with another dog that I ended up sending to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that dog's healthy. I don't want to be out there correcting on a dog that don't feel good, that ain't going to perform, that's got another issue going on that I could fix. We haul these dogs up and down the road. Sometimes, depending on the time of the year for me, we're hunting 5, 6, 7 nights a week. We're going to hunts. They're in the dog box. They're out of the dog box. They're here. They're there. Before I go to correcting on something, I want to make sure it's right. So I took Creeper to the vet and had a full blood panel done. everything come back fine, other than he was a little dehydrated, and me and you talked, and we got that rectified. That still ain't helped him from getting hot, but I think that's just because his heart beats that fast. I don't know.
He's just a little high strung.
He's weighing 440. If you want one that moves around, hustles, I've not been with many that can out hustle him. That's for sure.
You're telling the truth on that.
I ain't saying he's the most accurate dog out there, because he's not, but I think Angel is way more accurate than he is. But when it comes to hustle, if you're still in the game at the end of a hunt, if you ain't got so much minus, you're out of it, and you're still in the hunt at the end, he can put that coon on you to beat you. I mean, he moves that good.
Mm-hmm.
But he was getting hot on me. Of course, I was hunting in June, July. It was hot, real hot. I mean, we turned loose one night. It was 90-something degrees. And he trees a little. Of course, I'm different than probably any other coon hunter out there. Everybody wants to see them standing on the tree and treeing 200 barks a minute. I want to see them standing on the tree and don't let me get caught by the two.
And have a coon. Yeah.
I could care less how many barks a minute they bark. Just don't get me minus on the tree.
Yeah, I know. How you are.
So, but he don't tree that way. And I mean, it was cool the other night. And he stayed treed a long time in that wind up on a ridge, wind blowing on him. And when I got to him, it looked like he had swallowed an antacid tablet. He was foaming at the mouth, had foam all over his collar. So, anyway, that's why I had him checked.
Okay.
And I didn't specifically ask up front for thyroid. I said, I want a full blood panel done.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked some questions, and I said, this, and this, and the thyroid, and I think I asked about tick-borne diseases, stuff like that. So go ahead with your thyroid issue.
Well,
we got everybody listening.
The
now.
thyroid gland in dogs plays a crucial role in regulating like various bodily functions and stuff, including reproduction. And so we've been talking a lot about reproduction with this dog food and missed heat cycles, yada, yada, yada. So let's delve into some of the specifics on this. The thyroid function. The thyroid gland, everybody knows where it's located on the dog's neck. It produces essential hormones such as thyroxine, which is your T4.
Yeah, I got one.
And other thyroid hormones. These hormones act as the body's metabolic regulators, influencing processes like digestion, skin health, heart function, brain activity, and muscle function, and reproductive organs. Huge role. So, you've got hypothyroidism, okay, which is low thyroid function. And that occurs when a dog's thyroid glands fails to secrete a sufficient amount of thyroid hormones, all right? Hypothyroidism can lead to lots of reproductive problems. In females, they're going to have irregular or absent heat cycles, infertility, or poor litter survival. Okay?
Yep.
So if you're having some of them things happen, it could be because the dog food / thyroid, all these things can kind of play in with each other.
No, wait a minute.
Males.
You're not going to say thyroid is not a real thing?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
That thyroid's not a real thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe. Thyroid's a real thing.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. It is with humans too.
Oh, I know.
I mean, 100%. Males, reduced libido, small testicles, low sperm count, or infertility. Hyperthyroid, which is too much of a thyroid hormone, we don't hear a lot of that.
Maybe that's what Creeper's got. He's hyper.
But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with hyperthyroidism. When there's too much thyroid hormone, the heart muscle works a whole lot harder. And a dog that has an overactive thyroid, it'll play a big physical toll on them. So Excess thyroid hormone increases the force of contraction of the heart muscle. It increases the amount of oxygen that's demanded by the heart, and it increases their heart rate. The work of the heart is just greatly increased. So a dog that's given thyroid meds when it's not actually needed or given too much of the dosage, it's going to cause a lot of harm to them. Okay? And I'm going to make a lot of eyes roll with this comment.
We probably already done that, so go ahead.
Yeah, we might as well just keep rolling them.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of dogs die young because they're blowing the hearts up on them.
Yeah.
That I'm telling you that.
You already gonna get hate mail, so go ahead. And
I don't care. I don't care. But I'm telling you right now that's what's going on. They're blowing the hearts up on them. You hear all the time these young dogs, and then all of a sudden, boom, they died. Why'd that thing die? That dog was only 5 years old. You know. Anyways, it is what it is. Thyroiditis. Here's the meat and potatoes of this deal. Your thyroid produces two hormones, a T4 and a T3. 80% comes from the T4 and only 20% comes from the T3. If your dog is on thyroid meds, your only guarantee is that your dosage is going to increase. And anybody that's listening that's had a dog on it, I promise you they've run into this. Well, why? Why would their dosage increase? And the reason that their dosage increases, or if they're not lucky, they've got them on it, they've got them checked, their number come up, and they took them off of it. And some people do that, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them are just going to leave them right on it. But the reason that their dosage increases is because they're killing the thyroid. 100%, they're killing the thyroid. Mm-hmm. That's what's going on. And eventually, it succeeds in beating the thyroid into submission, and now your dog's permanently relied on thyroid meds. Mm. That's what's going on. T4 is converted into T3 by a process called methylation, and that comes from B vitamins: riboflavin, B2, niacin, pantothenic acid, thiamine, biotin. I'm not even sure what this other B6, B9, and then lastly B12. If you put these back into the body, it can start to perform the T4 function again, and the thyroid disease will go away. You got to fix how the body uses the raw material. Mm-hmm. So, as far as the thyroid goes, I hope you ain't got any questions. But
me,
yeah. But no. that right there is.
I'm sure somebody does.
That's the meat and potatoes on that.
Special kind of nerd.
And I don't care if they're mad or what. The next thing, well, I just think that a bunch of dogs are over medicated. They're over medicating and they're uneducated.
And one thing.
I'm just.
And one thing that Keith talked about when you're talking about over medicated. Over supplemented too. Too much of the supplement. You can over. He talked about you could over.
I could see where that could happen.
And not calling any names, but there's a big push for supplements in dogs.
There is.
To go with the dog food.
Yeah.
And, you know, I asked Keith this question, and y'all can listen to the next part. But the question I asked him was, can you over supplement a dog, and why would you need to supplement a dog if you were feeding a quality dog food? Mm-hmm. And he answers it. So
he's the one you're going to want to probably for sure listen to, but I'll just confuse you.
There's a lot of information, and here's the thing.
He can explain it a lot better too. But
we're putting this information out there for if you're interested, because Brett's like I am, every week on a coon hunting page somewhere, someone says, hey, what dog food are you feeding? Or, what's working best for you? And I think the point of all of this that we want to drive home, one, every dog is an individual. You got to figure out what works for that dog.
Yep.
Two, you need to feed the best quality feed that you can afford to feed. Three, to find out what the best quality feed that you can afford to feed is you can take this information that Brett's compiled here, pause this, make some notes, play it, listen to it again, whatever you got to do, get this stuff wrote down, do your own research, see what's in your area that works for you. All else fails, Keith says this on the podcast, he gives his phone number. Call down there. He's a nutritionist. Talk to him. He knows. This is what he does for a living. Go ahead with your next one.
Well, I was going to say this on that, in light of what you was talking about there, as far as the thyroid stuff, I had a friend of mine that brought this to my attention that had one checked. Huh?
You got other friends?
I do.
Okay.
Had one checked, and he had a buddy tell him, said, get her on raw hamburger. Get her on a raw hamburger. Get her off them. Don't start them thyroid pills. Get her on raw hamburger meat, and you're going to see a difference. He said, if you keep her on that, you're going to blow her heart up. And he said that he cared enough about that dog that he wasn't going to do that to her. So he didn't put her on them thyroid meds and put her on more of a raw meat diet, which got me to thinking years ago and got me on to a lot of this. But so I thought, you know what, I'm going to experiment with it. And I've experimented with it, and it works. What I found and the little regimen I do, I mean, it's my buddies, and even you, I mean, you come to my feed room, I've got a refrigerator in there.
It's crazy.
I do certain things. I feed him I feed Loner a certain way. I take care of him better than I take care of myself. My wife says, you take better care of that dog's nutrition than you do yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Do a lot of experiment. I give his, I mean, I'll just tell people that the feed that I feed him is 50% kibble, 50 to 60%, and the other 40 to 50% is raw. Mm. And yeah, it costs a lot of money. I wouldn't do that to 7 or 8 dogs, but if I've got one dog I'm pushing, I've got a goal. I'm gonna take care of this elite athlete. I'm gonna do whatever it takes that he can physically handle whatever rigorous training it's going to be, hauling him up and down the road, whatever I can do to decrease his stress, everything. I'm all the time, and you just got to try to read them. You just got to treat them as individuals. Some dogs are easy keepers. Some dogs are not.
Wonder how long they could go on pistachios.
I don't know, but you could live forever. Much as you eat those stupid things. So let's talk about iodine. Iodine is an element that's required for the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones. And I'm going to tell you right now, I take iodine. Mm. And I started taking it about a year ago. And I know a lot of people use an iodine supplement because they think it's not in the dog food, blah, 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 blah.
Keith talks about it.
You was telling me that Keith was talking about it.
Yep.
I've had all this compiled way before you ever interviewed Keith. You talked to him today. I haven't heard none of that podcast. But since the body doesn't produce iodine on its own, it's got to come from a dietary source. And trying to get the right balance is key. That's the key thing.
Right. So
inadequate levels or overconsumption of it can lead to or worsen a thyroid disease or a problem. Right. As well, it can cause other health concerns. But I can tell you this, I take it, and I can tell when I take it, and I can tell when I don't. And it works for me, but when you consume iodine, it's really, really quickly absorbed. It enters your bloodstream. Your thyroid has these, they say they got these tiny little cells. They capture this circulating iodine. It takes it in, and it begins to use it to create this T3 and T4 hormones. Makes its way throughout your body, regulates metabolism, and ensures healthy function of the heart, brain, and all the other organs. A major portion of iodine is concentrated in the thyroid gland. A non-hormonal iodine is found in a variety of in blood tissues, mammary glands, the eyes, the cervix, and your salivary glands. Levels of T3 and T4, as well as thyroid stimulating hormone, which is the TSH, is influenced by two that are out of normal ranges, can lead to issues such as hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. And the complications related to having an underactive or overactive thyroid. And this can occur because of different reasons of taking too little or too much. So you can get, so people that's adding iodine, because there's guys that are doing it, they're adding iodized salt or they're adding iodine drops or whatever it is, you can overdo it. So you're going to have to do the math, or you're just going to have to trial and error it and figure out how much to add, how much not to add.
I just always call you.
Well, I don't have the answer for all of it. I mean, I know the intake, because iodine, you can get iodine in iodine-rich foods and feed your dog instead of just giving the drops. But a healthy intake of iodine for a dog, they say, is 300 micrograms per 50 pound of a dog per day. 300 micrograms per 50 pound dog per day.
That's a little bitty gram.
Microgram, yep.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with milligram. Here's some, so some of the best iodine-rich foods, and I know some guys that use this as a supplement, and I've tried it, but I haven't never stuck with it, or I don't know why. I've just got my thing that I do, and I just stick with it. It works. Salmon oil, 1 ounce of salmon oil has 11 to 15 micrograms. That's not very much oil. Turkey has 30 micrograms. Liver has 32. This is going to surprise you. Raw milk has 56 micrograms in 1 cup.
Really?
Yep. That's
like raw unpasteurized?
Yep, raw milk. And eggs, 24 micrograms, 1 large egg. Tuna, 3 ounces, 17. Other sources of iodine for dogs: beef, chicken.
I like chicken.
Me too.
Especially
now,
fried.
Man, there is a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff on iodine that you can go down iodine rabbit trails. The potential dangers of having too much iodine for dogs goes along with what I was saying a while ago, the hyperthyroidism in dogs. It occurs when the thyroid gland becomes overactive, produces an excessive amount of thyroid hormones. This can cause various symptoms: weight loss, increased appetite, restlessness, and a rapid heart rate. So you got to be careful with this iodine supplement. Enough of the iodine. We was talking a while ago about the raw dog food deal.
Yep.
And I've talked to several guys about this. I've heard other guys say that they've done certain things. Some guys, not very many people. It's not real popular, but I have experimented with it a lot, and that's what a lot of people just needs to do. I can't remember who this was. I can't even remember who it was, but he feeds raw chicken, bone, legs, thighs, whatever. And if you do that, you want to cut back on your dog food. Because I can tell you right now, even if you're hunting them, you're going to notice a few things. Is they're not going to drink as much, and they're going to get a lot of moisture from that. And you just think about that dry kibble.
Yeah.
Eating that versus something that's got a lot of moisture content to it. And plus, we had an old vet up here. He said that, dogs need bone. And he's an old school guy, and that dog needs bone. They get a lot of things from calcium, lots of different things from the bone. And with this raw chicken, and I've done it.
I've done it in the summer.
In the summertime, it's really, really good. And so you can, if you supplement it in there, you can just feed half of the amount of dog food you're feeding and throw a chicken leg in there with it. Some of them will get to where they ain't used. It takes a little bit. Some of them like it, some of them don't. But a lot of times, like Loner, what he'll do is he'll bite it once. It'll basically, you can hear it crunch, break in half. And then when he swallows it, he just swallows it in two big chunks, or he'll swallow the whole darn thing.
Yeah.
But it ain't bad for him. Cooked chicken bones is what splinters. Raw, uncooked chicken bones raw ain't gonna hurt a dog.
Yeah.
Their body will digest it. So.
I've done it.
But that bone is like encased with all that meat.
Yeah.
So when they break and swallow it, it don't hurt them.
Well, I done it with Creeper, trying to get over the dehydration problem.
And it works.
Yeah, it does. And plus,
they don't drink as much.
And plus, he don't. When you give him dry kibble without it being water baited.
Yeah.
He looks at you funny because since he's lived at my house, he ain't ate a whole lot of dry kibble without it being water in it. He is right now, but that's just because I hadn't been hunting him. But he's back on the water diet again.
Oh, I do it in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Too. Because usually they don't like to drink. They don't drink it much either in the wintertime either. But
yeah.
It don't seem like they ever drink enough. They know what they need, obviously, but it don't seem like they ever drink enough for me.
Yeah, me too. He always seems hot.
So if you want to try the raw dog food diet thing, you can do. I've done so many different things. Sardines. A lot of guys will feed a can of sardines.
Oh, not them ones I got. They ain't eating them. I can tell you right now.
I eat them too, but I've bought them for them before.
I'd be eating them myself out there instead of feeding the dogs. Them were good that I got.
I have different sources and ways. People are like, "Well, how are you getting this?" Or how are you getting all this liver? Or how are you getting all this beef? Be creative, figure it out on your own. But
find a butcher.
Find you a connection.
I got all mine because I know a guy that processes cows, and he asked me. He said, "You want all these parts that people don't want? Absolutely, bring them to me."
Yeah, you can typically get all the beef fat you want anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's getting harder.
It is because people are renting it because of the seed oils and stuff. Now you're right, but you could get all the beef fat you wanted. They throw it away or whatever, but now they are selling it. Beef heart. Beef liver.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you how many beef hearts that I've stood at my kitchen table and cut up in chunks and fed the Loner. Beef heart, beef liver. I have a connection with some hamburger.
Yeah.
And I've used it all. And I'll mix it in there at different times of the year. I do chicken at certain times of the year. I make every effort to make sure that he's got the best diet that he needs for the demand of the work that I try to get out of him.
Does he got a hammock to lay in?
No, but I can tell you one thing. He's in shape. He looks good. He's got good muscle tone, and I know that's played a big role in a lot of that.
Yep.
And I know how he operates on it. And even though I like the extreme, I'll say this: with that one dog, he eats better than I do probably. So he's not just living on an all extreme dog fuel diet.
Yeah.
He's getting raw beef liver, beef hearts, or hamburger, or a mix of all the above.
Yep.
And it's I'm just a big believer in it. But anyways, if you've got 6 or 7 dogs, it's not feasible, or it costs you a fortune to do that.
Yeah, but if you only got one,
But if you only got
two.
one, you're doing it too. It's worth it.
Yeah, and honestly, all this we've talked about you've talked about all this, and to do this research that you've done, and for people to take notes, write this down, go do their own. It's going to take work. To feed part kibble, part raw food, it's going to take extra work on your behalf to do it. You're not just going out there scooping up a cup or 2 cups or 3 cups or 4 cups of kibble and dumping it in a bowl. You kind of got to prepare for this, and I go through phases with mine. I've got enough beef liver to fill up a 55-gallon drum, and I go down there and I set it out and I defrost it and I go through phases, and then I'm like everybody else. I get lazy or tired and forget about it or run out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, dog, I forgot to do it. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you get busy and you don't do it then. So it takes a lot of work to stay on top of it.
It does. I pre-bag all of it and freeze it. I got a lot of freezers, but I cut it all, a bunch of it up at one time and pre-bag it all. And I've got that refrigerator in my feed room, so it takes a lot of extra work and time and a little bit extra money to do it that way if you want to do it that way. And some dogs some dogs may not need to be treated that way. My thought process is a little bit different. Okay, I've got a female at the house, like Moon. I'll just give her for an example. You can just feed her dry kibble, and she's going to give you 150% no matter what. And a lot of them are going to, but in my brain, I'm going, okay, feeding her that way, okay, and she gives me 150%, and I ain't doing anything extra special. She's an easy keeper. It don't take much. She's not high maintenance. I'm pretty bad to make them high maintenance. So I'm thinking, all right, if she's giving me 150%,
you trying to get 200 out of the poor old girl
on dry feed,
not.
Then I'm going to give her this extra and try to get 200 out of her. And you're joking about it, but I'm being serious.
Oh, I know you are. Poor old dog.
So why not?
Mean to her.
It's never enough. So why not? So I change up things and feed them. Like I say, I have one other supplement that if I'm pushing a dog and running a dog hard, I will not go without feeding them that a certain supplement. Liver is there's 2 of them. One of them is that beef liver, and
the other one you go keep in your shirt pocket.
The other one will keep in my shirt pocket. Okay. But yeah, but the last thing I want to say is, because I've rambled on way too much, and this went way too long.
2.5 hours.
But remember that the best diet, it's an individual matter. Your friend's strategy for feeding his hound won't necessarily be the best for your hound. Understand what you're feeding. Research the manufacturer. If you're feeding a commercial product, feed the highest quality food that your budget can handle.
Yep.
And that's what everybody tries to do. And like everything we do with our dogs, pay attention to what your dog's telling you. And after you pick up the food bowl each day, let your dog and his health determine what's best for him.
Yep.
That is the final answer to this one.
I think it's good.
And that's all I got.
Well, that was a lot. This will be a multi-part. So
this don't need to be a multi-part. You can do a lot of editing and cut a bunch of it out.
Well, make sure before we shut this down, I do want to say this. After whatever part number this is, and you're hearing this part of it, make sure you stay tuned to the week after this. We will be hearing from Keith Dotson with Extreme Dog Fuel. And like I said, Keith is a dog food nutritionist that now currently owns a dog food company. He did not start a dog food company and then become a nutritionist. He was a nutritionist first. So he's got a lot of great information, and it's a lot packed in a short period of time. And maybe we can have Keith back sometime, and he leaves his number. Hey, when that podcast airs, listen to it. If you got questions about anything that was discussed here, Brett said up front, neither one of us are a vet. Neither one of us are a nutritionist. He done a lot of research. He put a lot of effort and time into this to try to put all this information together so you can go to one place and listen to it and do your own research and come up with it, reach out to Keith. He blatantly says his phone is open. You can email him. He gives his email address on there. Ask questions. You know, maybe he can answer some questions, you know, through this. And maybe you listen to what Brett's had to put together here and said, and listen to Keith's, and maybe it all makes sense. In the end, you can figure out where you need to go. Got anything else?
No, that's good. He'll be able to clear up a lot of stuff. I may have just confused everybody.
No, I don't think so. You put enough information out there on each subject that people can go and do their own research, figure out what they need to do in their situation for their dog. And by no means are we saying any one dog food is bad, any one dog food is great. What works for me and Brett right now is Extreme Dog Fuel. That's what we feed. They don't sponsor us. They're welcome to. Any dog food company is welcome to. I doubt they will after today. But any dog food company is welcome to. I'm just saying every person is different. Everybody has different experiences. Just like we talked about with some of the other dog food brands. That's what works for us right now. It's working for all the dogs that we have. And the other guys that I know that are feeding it, it's working for them. So you can go check it out, do what you want to with the information.
I've fed it for over 2 years.
Yeah, and I've been feeding it for...
And I don't have no reason to change.
3 or 4. As long as I can get my hand on it, that's what I will feed. No questions. And I think there's some other guys that get that feed from me that feel the same way.
Yeah, they do. We got Chops on it.
Yeah.
He's kind of a hard sell too.
Yeah, boy, y'all boys down there in that country, y'all rough on.
He is. He's a hard sell, and I mean he's a good houndsman. He knows he ain't quick to just up and change on something either. And he's mentioned several times, boy, I tell you what, he said that's good dog food. That's probably the best we've ever fed.
If we can get the vet on it down there, I'll be really doing something then.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, all right, we're gonna shut it down right here. I hope y'all have enjoyed this series about dog food. One more part of this coming up next week with Keith Dotson with Extreme Dog Fuel. Make sure y'all pay attention to that one, and we'll see you next time.
You know what else?
What?
I think I hear something.
What do you hear?
Listen. You hear me in there?
What? Snacks?
Yeah, I see that cake.
Yeah.
Calling my name.
Yeah. All right. Bye. Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.